Rogue Media Music. Keep the music playing.
Welcome to Behind the Wheel with Alvacado.
Welcome to another edition of Behind the Wheel with Alvacado. I'm your host, Jim Alvarado, a.k.a. Alvacado. And in studio, folks, it's an honor to have one of the best guitarists in the country business. Y'all, please help me welcome Rodney Pyeatt. Rodney, what's up,
man?
My brother?
Man, it's good to see you. I was telling them, I said, one of these guys out here is a cut up because I said, man, I don't know that I've met Jim. I don't even know if I've seen him, but I have absolutely met him way back, and I just don't have a face. And I said, but definitely his reputation precedes him.
Well, good.
And he goes, and you showed up anyway?
That's
the places that I like to go.
That's our producers up there, man.
Yeah, that's who that was, yeah. Give me his name again.
His name is Josh.
Josh, that's right. Yeah, I have his card. I'll remember that, Josh. I'm sorry.
Well, I have actually a couple of producers. Josh actually produces the show.
Yeah.
And then I have a executive producer. His name is Mike.
Well, I mean, I've been here 4 minutes. I've met 8 people.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
there's
how
that going on.
Yeah, and you got to meet another artist.
Now, am I supposed to be looking there or here?
You can. Why don't you look at me, man?
Why do we put that camera right behind you?
Don't worry about the camera.
What a beautiful day. We should be doing this outside on a veranda or something.
I have a video camera. We can do stuff outside.
Let's do a mobile one someday.
The next one, we got to do another one.
Let's do one where we co-host. Make me a big deal. I'll co-host with you.
So let's talk about
Agitate your guest.
The reason why you're here today because you're interested in doing a podcast.
I was very interested in doing a podcast.
And you wanted to see how podcasts were done. And I'm like, well, I don't even know how the hell podcasts are done.
The fun ones that I have done have been, I call it remote video because it sounds so 21st century. But basically, Zoom or something.
But that's not. It's good, but not good.
It's not as good as this because I went to a Bible study last night, y'all. Woo! And one of the things we were talking about was doing a Bible study virtually versus in a room with people because there's literally a frequency.
Right.
There's 2 frequencies in this room. Of course, I was telling Josh earlier, it's like, really what I hear right now is a big hiss. He goes, I hear a ring. I said, well, my medicine hasn't kicked in. It'll be a ring about 4 o'clock, But I have the tinnitus, and I've been talking to a lot.
My wife has that, too.
Well, I talk a lot. I've been reading after a lot of very successful engineers, which I'm just now becoming. It's taken 4 years, to get to the point where I'm going to release some stuff this year with my mixes. It won't. It's like I was telling the other Josh here, your cohort. It's just like if I release something this year, and if I were going for big guns like radio and all the distribution I could, I'd have somebody mix it. But I'm going to mix it and release it and do things like this to promote it, and then it's going to be a grassroots thing because that's what I do. I'm more in the teaching phase of my career and the let me help you for.
Well, let's talk about your career for
okay.
a moment. I mean, so Rodney, you started out as just a guitar player for a while.
Yeah, when I became professional, I always had sang and played.
Have you always?
Yeah, always. But I didn't want to. When I first started, my mom who taught me my first chords, and then put me in the family circle with all the family guitarists. She was like, "Why are you playing if you don't sing?" I was going, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, aren't you going to be somewhere where you want to play?" And I was like, man, I'm already there because I'm already doing like little Rolling Stone intros, and I'm doing I'm a guitar teacher when I was probably in 7th or 8th grade, 9th grade maybe. I can't remember exactly when. He was teaching me all the heads to all the popular rock songs because I came up in a country household. And my first band was country, and all my bands were country. I never was anything, but when I was about 17, my wife was not in the band for a little while because she was about to deliver our first child. She was 21 at the time, and I was 17. Yeah. I was talking to the lady who I had replaced her with temporarily, and I was on about my 3rd double dickle on the rocks. And we're rolling out. We're wrapping up. We're rolling up our stuff, getting ready. We're done for the night. Done 4 sets, and I'm like, I'm a 17-year-old punk, And I was pretty fast because I had good technique, and I was into metal, right? Oh. So I'm rebelling from the household. I'm just seeing that there's a lot more out there. I'm already into Jeff Beck and Pat Metheny and all the stuff that I'm into now plus. But anyway, so I told that gal, I said, when I'm 21, I'll be the best guitarist in the world. That sounds like something a kid would say, doesn't it?
But you probably are. Dude.
No, but she looked at me and she scoffed, and I was like horrified. No one's ever scoffed at my arrogance. How dare you scoff at me? What? What are you saying? She goes, you won't be the best at anything, but you might be the best at a lot of things if you'll just try to be as good as many things as you can be. And it stung me so much I never could forget it, and then at some point it started making sense.
But you only have to
I want to be as much as I can be, not as good as I can be.
As much as you can be.
I want to be as wide as I can be.
But you only can be good as you are only one time.
I guess what
You
I'm
only
saying is
have to
I'd
be
rather
good
be a
one time.
polymath than the world's.
Toby Keith said it. I only have to be good at it one time.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
If you're good at it one time, then you'll be great at it all the time.
Yeah.
Because you have to have one thing that will just throw you over the top.
Just one.
Just one.
That's right. He's right about that. I mean, that's and in the music world, if you're not, like me, I'm not Stoney Larue. I'm not going to go somewhere tonight and draw 10,000 people or fourth or whatever his numbers are. I don't care. It's great. It's great numbers. I'm not going to draw 500 tonight, right? Or any time this week. So with that, I'm like any other musician. I'm looking for the next big contract that carries me through for a year. And I'll make beats. I don't care. I'll write children's songs. I'm a musician. But I think where I'm going is more God, family, country, specifically God in my writing. I haven't written in 4 years because I've been learning a new craft. And that's what it's I mean, I'm telling you, bro, wake up, go do the thing, screw up my whole day, spend the rest of that night learning what I did wrong, come back and do it half as wrong the next day for 4 years. And it's a process to where I'm just now, even with, I listen to all these other engineers and they're like, yeah, we have hearing damage too. Because I have significant hearing damage in the midsection. Like, if you looked at,
well, how loud did you have your guitar on stage? I mean,
how long, what?
How loud did you have your guitar
Well, it depends on who I
stage?
played with. Like when I was playing with Treveño, we were playing stadiums and rooms,
Yeah.
You might play a small room the next day, but it's still packed.
How long were you
We
with
didn't
Rick?
have in-ears then. We were just a couple years before that.
It's when monitors
Mike
were
McClure
still
was
a
so
thing.
loud, I hurt myself a few times.
So how long were you with Rick?
I was with Rick 6 years, I guess.
Oh, wow.
From 97 till 2002.
You were saying God, family, and everything else. Your family's, I mean, your son is pretty badass.
I have 3 sons that are very talented. They're all going through stuff right now. The youngest one, he was co-founder of Midnight River Choir with Eric Middleton, and I introduced them because Eric was gonna. There was a studio that I worked with. My cousin had a studio in Bastrop. It burned in those Lost Pine fires.
Oh yeah.
Lost. What do they call that? Lost
Brush
Pine.
fire.
They had the whole historic pine forest down there burned up, and they showed up and they saw the studio was in a very large garage, but they saw it as an external structure. Huh. And so they just went to protect the house. They did everything right by protocol, but we lost it. We didn't have it insured. Didn't have it all insured. So anyway, make a story short, Eric Middleton came to me and said, hey man, produce my record. And I'm like, well, won't be much to it. You're going to play acoustic guitar and hopefully you can play to a click track. We could see if you play to a click track, you can do anything you want to do after that.
Well, what's a click track?
A click track is just
don't know that.
Click. It's just quarter notes. You can set it how you want, but I'm gonna go down to the drugstore. Give me, you're singing and playing to a click, right? Now, if you don't have that, because I get this a lot, man. I don't want the click. That's a very novice attitude. If you can't play to a click, you probably aren't ready to make a record. Come on. And I'm hard-ass. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I'm hard about it because, I know music is just art, and I know you have to watch yourself and not take yourself too seriously, but it does in some, because you hear me say things like, a song is just a black widget. It's just a rocket to sell, but it can still change the world.
Yeah.
Because we got to have a guy 30 miles from here doing stuff with rockets changing the world.
Right.
So, SpaceX. So, a song can be a very big deal in a lot of ways, but I'm of the opinion that words are the most powerful thing on the planet.
Wow, they are, and they
I
do
think
hurt.
so. Because you say bombs are, well, who's going to push the bomb button until someone says push? And that's a word. And when I say word, I mean logos. I mean everything that has to do with intellect. It's like I said, there's a freak. I'm not trying to be like a hippie or zone out or anything, but that's what I believe. I believe that the interpersonal reactions that we have are supernatural, even though they're only natural.
Right.
That there's a supernatural thing always going on. And that's why I said it yesterday in the Bible study. It's like I'm about to get off of any personal social media because I'm not making that many friends. I'm an ass, and I'm
making
John
more
Wayne,
enemies.
man. I'm bad. I'm kill you.
You're
I'm
Rodney
John
Pyeatt.
Wayne online, but once I meet you and there's this frequency and there's a interpersonal, like I have empathy for people. Yeah. Well, I can't be John Wayne now.
You're Rodney Pyeatt. You're going to say what you say anyhow.
Which,
I mean, you've earned the right to do and say what you want to, man. I mean,
well, I don't know if I've
you've
earned
been-
the right,
well-
but I sure am taking it. And what I mean by that is, what I mean is, I it's really common. I'm going to say this because again, I'm hard on people, but people are hard on me. So here we go. I think when I see someone young that says, "I don't know if I'm going to pursue music," that's fear. When you see them, they're real old, they're not doing anything. They're like, "I don't want to do anything." That's bitterness. I want to do as much as I can. Man, I spent 10. Okay, so first of all, and I talk about this a lot now that I'm doing more public stuff. Before I cut my hand, there was COVID, and everyone was involved in that. So
your finger stuck in that
and
position?
it's never gonna move.
Oh, wow.
It'll never move. But
Is that from playing?
look, yeah, that's I cut my. You don't know about my injury?
No.
Okay, so
Well, you're about to tell the story anyhow.
Well, I cut. I don't. That's an injury. It's about a 3-year-old injury. I cut my finger. I fell asleep on an edge-end knife. An edge-end knife is an X-Acto knife with a very long, thin blade for going like when you're doing the vine when you wrap a car. You want to get it perfect. Well, I was doing when you do guitars, they call it you wrap a car and you skin a guitar. So I was putting these skins on it and just got everything, and it was, I don't know what the deal was with the weather or whatever, but I was doing it in my room, my bedroom, on my bed. And then when I cleaned up, I just missed that. So, and it was a weekend night, it was a Friday night. I should have been playing somewhere, but it wasn't. It was after COVID. I wasn't in a giant hurry to try to prove anything musically. But I fell asleep early that night, like 11 o'clock, and in my clothes, just on top of my cover, I was reading something. And like 4 o'clock, I get up, and I'm like, man, I'm awake. And when I do that, I might go for a walk, or I might go get some coffee, or I might read, or I don't know, but I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom and see what happens. And when I did like that, I'd fallen asleep with my phone in my bed. It was on the charger. So I went like that to put my weight on this hand. I felt something that felt like an electrical shock.
Oh, wow.
And that's that blade going through the first tendon. And I thought, my God, have I shocked myself? Did I spill water or something? Like what's going on? And I get up and I feel the other one. And by the time I look down, there's that knife. Ugh. And there's just a little smallest hole. Now the scar for the first surgery was about that big. The second one was from here all the way down to here. Oh, wow. You can barely see the scar now, but it was nasty. Scars heal so fast.
And weird.
In terms of color?
Yeah.
But then the other day I hurt myself. I'm always getting hurt. Like about 18 months ago, I see how that is? That's 10% the size it was. Dude, I bashed my elbow. I think I hit a bursa or pot. I was messed up. And, of course, that. And then I've had trigger finger.
Rodney, just because Cody Johnson sung about it don't mean you have to live it. Every
Sing
scar
about
has
what?
a story.
Which one?
Every scar has a story.
Every scar. That's the problem. That's the sad part.
You keep getting,
some of my scars
hey,
are for no reason at all. What does it say?
You don't have to keep getting scars to prove yourself, man. I mean, we know you're bad.
No, what it is the way I feel about it is, your hands are for multiple
Did it
things.
affect your playing?
Yes. Well, see, I had to relearn. And so where it affects that the most, the relearning wasn't as hard as getting rid of muscle memory, because you'll be, the old muscle memory, and that's not going to work. So in some way, now this happened to a friend of mine named Josh Roberts. He's a local musician. He's living in Houston now. He's a good player, been around. But his injury was here, and he left his like that. Now I might maybe looking back, yeah, maybe, but it wasn't going to be half. It was going to be what do you want? Because the morning that I was going to be cleared by the doctor, I had a gym plan. My buddy and I were going to go to the gym. And I had an accident at home and re-injured it, and they had to do another surgery, and they couldn't salvage this, except for one tendon.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to relearn, and so my calluses, like look, my calluses are on the inside. So it's been a painful process, and so, people talk about I did a long podcast here recently with a fella, Jared Giles out of Kansas, and he had asked me, on the way out, we always ask me, what's the one thing you've learned? And I don't know, I said something stupid. I pulled something that I could think of out, but that's been a significant learning process for me about myself, in terms of you do have the option to quit. You do, but you better take the path of least resistance. And here's what I mean. I've said that, and people got in my face and, boy, I'm so too dark, dude, blah, 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 blah. Because you wouldn't be able to sleep with yourself if you hadn't. You took the path of least resistance. Staying home would have made you crazy. You'd be crazy. You'd be mean and pissed off at the world. Yeah. You followed your heart, and that's always the path of least resistance. It's going to be a hard row to hoe, but it beats being a bystander.
Sitting at the house or gardening. Everybody says, I'm going to go home and garden. No, you don't.
Well,
no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Not until you do it.
Man, I met this guy yesterday, though. He's only 10 years younger than my dad. My dad is 91. My dad talks about how, back in the day, you don't know what it's like to not have electricity in your house. I'm like, no, I don't. You know this. I remember I was born when my dad bought a house in Aldine, Texas. You probably wouldn't even go there now, but in the early 60s, mid 60s, my dad bought a house, and that was the first house he ever lived in with central air.
Huh.
And now you wouldn't even think of, it happens a lot, but most people wouldn't buy a new home without central air. They surely wouldn't build or buy a regular
it depends on where you live.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm just talking about my paradigm, Texas. Now, the Deep South, you need AC, baby.
Well, one time when I went to California, when I was younger, I moved up to California probably when I was 19, 20 years old. First time ever been out of Texas in my life.
Shocking.
I get over to California, and I get to this hotel, and there's no thermostat on the damn wall. So I called up to the hotel.
And where in Northern Cali?
It was, towards Salinas, Monterey, California.
Okay.
And I asked them, I said, hey, where is the thermostat? We don't have AC. I said, what are you talking about? They said, we just opened the windows. Because it never gets over 75 degrees here. 80 if
and then after the sun goes down.
Well, to me, I said, I'm from Texas, man. 80's hot to me.
Yeah.
I like cold air. They said,
like
just
cold
open
air.
the window.
I sleep under a shop fan.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, the little one?
Cooler, yeah.
I sleep under one of those.
And I was raised in a small town country of Jewett, Texas.
Where?
In Jewett.
Jewett?
Yeah, off of Highway 79 between Marquez and Buffalo. Small town Jewett. Now, I didn't live
pretty out there.
I lived in the country of.
Okay.
It was Jewett and Marquez address, but
So, what school district did you go to?
Leon High School. Leon. I was a cougar.
That's a little town. That's pretty out there, man.
Oh, it is beautiful. And
you're out there by. You say Buffalo? That's out there by.
Well, actually, it was more towards the Marquez area, Marquez and Groesbeck area, because where I lived, we were right next to Lake Limestone.
Yep.
Before it was Lake Limestone.
Yep.
We used to hunt deer at the bottom of that lake for years.
Hunt deer at the bottom of the lake.
Well, there was not a lake there.
I got to hear this.
There was not a lake there.
How old are you?
I am.
You look good. How old are you?
58, dude.
So you're saying that you lived here before they built the lake, or what?
Before they built that power plant. They built the lake for
That's
the power
the
plant.
second lake, isn't it?
HLMP is no Lake Limestone is the only lake.
Oh, I'm thinking of Lake Mejia.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Lake Mejia. I just know there's a lot of fish in that one too. But Lake Limestone was designed to cool off the power plant HLMP.
Okay.
In Jewett area, But we used to deer hunt at the bottom of that because we knew some people who owned that land. But when the HLMP came in and took over all that land and was going to make it into a lake, my stepdad decided he had this 4x4 truck. While they were building the dam, he was going to commence to climb it one day. Drinking beer, having a good time, smoking a little weed.
Country.
Oh, yeah, very country. We had the barbecue pit going, man. I bet I could climb that.
Oh, man.
I got this new 4x4.
And y'all just sitting there watching him.
No, I was in the back of the truck.
Oh, you deserve whatever happened. What happened?
I was going up there, up this big hill, dude. And he almost to the top, and then the wheels spin. Bzzz,
oh, man.
and it starts bouncing. And then he was like, oh, no.
Oh, Lordy. Now I always wondered why at that point they don't
I jump
immediately
out.
cut. Yeah.
I
wonder why they don't cut their wheels suddenly and try to go down.
And then it starts happening. It starts sliding back, getting faster and faster.
Where's everyone else?
My mom was in the cab, and a couple of other brothers that I had, they all jumped out with me because they're like, man, I ain't going down.
Not out.
And I'm almost at the top of the mountain here.
Because when it goes down there, I'm pretty sure that you don't think this, but you instinctively realize it as part of the overall danger sensation. This is going to be a sudden stop.
or it's going to roll or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how he pulled it off, but he managed to pull it off without flipping it or...
Is he a praying man?
He is.
Lord!
He was... They were smoking a little tobacco there, you know?
Some of that
wacky tobacco, and I don't even know how I made it out of my childhood, to be honest with you.
I don't either, man. I thought my mom was going to beat me to death. I finally hit puberty, and she started looking at me like a human being, you know, talking to me with reason.
Rodney, I want to hear you play something, man.
Do you? You sure?
If you can, I mean...
Kind of early.
You know,
well, what do you think?
Play, sing, whatever, dude. Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Okay, do I need to leave this here, Josh?
Yeah.
Is he watching this?
You're a professional. Do whatever makes you comfortable and happy. That's going to get more of the guitar than you.
Put a spit shine on it real quick. I bought this tuner. It's cool.
I like how you say tuning your guitar. I'm going to put a spit shine to it.
That's about all I can do, man. It's all banged up. This guitar, I haven't had it very long, but...
Rodney, how many times have you worked with microphones and guitars, man?
I'll tell you, man.
You've owned your own studio.
Yeah, I call it the... I'm 16 again. I have a studio in my dad's garage. He would never admit it, but I'm more or less a caretaker that does a bad job. You know, I don't mop like I should. I don't iron much. But I'm supposed to be like a caretaker. And so once my partners and I, on amicable terms, went separate ways, I'm there. So now I just want to leave just for the heck of it. You know, I got to go to Walmart. What are you going to Walmart for? I'm going to get another batch of groceries. I'm stir crazy, man.
I mean, did you just see what he just did? I mean, I don't know what camera's looking. The riffs. This.
I had to relearn a lot of
this
stuff.
This guy is a damn legend, folks, when it comes to guitar. Nobody can play. I mean, I know your sons are really good.
Now, the only way I can go from there is down. Come on, man. Give me a little room here.
Give me a little room to fail.
Give me a little room to fail.
I mean, dude.
No, my oldest boy, he plays. No, I think
No, they're good.
I think for now he's kind of decided he
all
doesn't
your kids
really
are
want to
great.
do much. He just had a very invasive surgery from C1 down to about 7, where they go in and it's the craziest thing. I don't know how long this podcast is. I have all the time in the world. They take the flanges on both sides of the spinal column, and on one side they cut all the way through, all the way down to the however many, I think they did 7. And on the other flange, they cut half of it, half the length of it. And so that's what the remaining tissue is, the hinge. And they open it, and they put a device, cage or whatever on his spine to open up because he has spinal stenosis. So he's had a long, very hard road with his rehab. And then Jake was in a car accident the other day. Someone hit him from behind. He's been doing physical. He's hard to find. He has 2 kids. He's been working a full-time job and playing. He just quit his full-time job about 3 or 4 weeks ago. flying back and forth to Nashville doing some
Is he the one
sessions.
with Midnight River Choir?
No, that's the youngest one. I have 3 boys. It's funny because Mitchell, the youngest one, he has 4 girls, and they're all young. I think the oldest one's only 12 or something. 12. How's Zoe? But that keeps you busy, and so he has a painting company. He does a little bit of drywall, and he plays probably 4 nights a week. The way that area is. He lives in New Braunfels, and the way that area is, it's like you could just.
You can pick up.
Bro,
go
I'm
to
telling
Green,
you,
you can be in Green Hall in 2 minutes over there.
Oh well, and he it's funny because what'd you do last night? I played Green Hall, opened up for Joe Blow. He was playing for Charlie Robinson when Charlie passed, and so that was kind of a hit for those guys. They really, obviously not as much of a hit as the guys who had been with him,
Right.
because they knew him a lot longer.
That was a hard pass. For
Well, it was sudden too. I mean, I took my daughter to see them, and the whole thing after Billy Bob's and all that stuff has changed after the COVID sensation. They don't have 30 people in the VIP on stage anymore.
Yeah.
There's like 5. So I called Robert, and I just wanted general admission. He's like, no, we're not gonna do general admission. I show up. They're not in a bus or in a van, so I show up. There's not much going on back there. Yeah. So I show up. Robert has some guy, a big guy, go, can I help you? And I'm like, God, if I don't pass this test, I'm going to have to fight the biggest man I've ever seen. And I said, I'm Rodney Pyeatt. He goes, yes, sir, come on in. And he, escorted me in up on the stage. Oh, so, wow. There's all these people looking at me, and I'm wearing a T-shirt. My daughter's like, yeah. And they killed it, bro. They killed it, so you don't know if you know Charlie's knees were a mess. Oh, no. And he stood up a lot that night. Oh, they killed it, dude. They murdered that crowd, dude. They loved it. They killed it. And it was what he had told Robert Earl was, I want a rock band. I want to go out with a rock band. I think he knew where he was health-wise. Because then about 2 weeks later, they did a thing in McKinney. I took my daughter again. My first cousin, Boone, he was the DJ for the night. He was the announcer for the night, so I got to introduce my daughter to him and his wife. And then, make story short, they did a great show. I want to say Kevin Fowler opened up for them. That was funny. Some guy we call them germs. Right? So if you're big or if you're with someone big. If you're big, you get germs because you're big. People want attention. If you're with someone big, the driver or the guitar player, they germ you to get to the big guy. So some guy was germing the crap out of Kevin Fowler. And I just walked up, I grabbed this guy by the shoulder, I said, excuse me, sir, are you? Kevin looks up, I go, oh, sorry, wrong guy. Kevin, I've known him forever. He just, get your ass out of here, But it was pretty good. I got a laugh out of this guy, the guy that was being the germ, But it was fun. So my daughter's like, how do you know these people? I'm like, babe, I'm 100 years old. Of course I know these people.
You're Rodney Pyeatt.
I'm Rodney Pyeatt.
Hey, come on, man.
Tell you what, let me tell you a story, man. This one, she tells she's 16 on the 4th last week. So she's a Mike Ryan fan. She always has been. So and I'm a Mike Ryan fan, always have been. I played on his first 2 records.
Mike.
I love that guy, man. Yeah. He's a fart knocker, but I love him to death. He's so talented and he's so sincere, and his people, if you know his family, they're just good people. So I'm gonna get teary. But the idea was, I said, babe, I'm gonna come pick you up. We're gonna do it out your 16th. I'm like, man, we're gonna go do the deal. We're gonna paint the town, as they say. And she's like, I'm not telling her what we're doing. I said, so I pick her up and said, all right, we have Gloria's here in Collin County. That's a nice Mexican restaurant up there by in the Firewheel Mall. And then it's a really swanky. And then I said, but we can go to the Cattleman's in Fort Worth. We can do whatever you want. It's your 16th birthday. She goes, I want Chili's.
Oh, no.
I said, I took this $100 bill out of this pocket and put it back in that pocket. Said, Chili's it is. And she's like happy all the way. And then we get there. She's like just in heaven. And we get done. She's like miserably happy. And we go to the Stockyards. I said, we're going to go see Mike Ryan. It was the Fort Worth Music Festival. And had I been able to get there, traffic was hell. If
that was just recently,
earlier,
right?
I might could seen several. I want her to see Courtney Patton.
Oh, yeah.
I want her to see females doing country. because when she came to stay with me for a long trip last year, I picked her up, took her to Billy Bob's, and they do something rodeo related every day, and so it was Friday night, and the young ladies were doing barrel roping. So there's a lot of pretty girls doing that, man, and they're athletic. And my daughter's a pretty girl, and she's athletic, and she didn't know about this sport. She's watching. She goes, "Dad, what do you think about that girl's boots?" I said, "Those are nice." She goes, "Those are such and such boots. That's a $700 boot."
Luke Casey's?
Whatever it is. And I don't know, but she knew. She goes, "That's a $700 pair of boots." I go, "What about it?" She goes, "She's going to walk around in cow poo." I said, "What do you think her dress boots are like?" She goes, "Well, what do you think that hat?" I said, "The hat that she's wearing tonight, that's probably a $700 hat. It's 20X or 50X or whatever. It's a nice hat. And it could fall in the poo. So what do you think, We play this little game. So she goes, "What do you think that trailer's worth?" I said, "That's a $30,000 trailer. It's got air conditioner in it." And, she said, "Well, I know that truck has to be $75,000. It's a dually or whatever." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, I'm just going to tell you, I don't see anything about being country that looks poor to me." I said, "But it does happen." And she says, so she comes and stays with me, and she's like, "Dad, I think I would be fine if I came to live with you." I said, "You're not having problems with your mom or anything? I mean, other than she's German and she's absolutely going to make you mine. We're raising to get a kid here, and she's doing all the hard work." She goes, "No, I just think I'll like it, I said, "Well," I do. I said, "All your life, I've given you words." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, today's word is affluent." "Okay, never mind." In other words, you're a rich kid. Take it for what it's worth. She's like, "All right, good enough." And of course, she knows. I think she wants to go to Baylor. I don't know who I'm going to have to rob to make that happen.
Baylor.
She's so smart. But I went to get her last year when she started ninth grade. She said, the day before school, she started crying. I'm like, "Babe, what's going on?" She goes, "I don't want to be in the STEM program." That's the STEM universe up there, Collin County. Population is equal to Dallas County.
Yeah.
And she's like, I said, "What's the problem?" She goes, "This is brilliant to me. I've been thinking about this all morning." She goes, "I don't want to do something I know I can do." She's a BC honor roll student, right? Worldwide. Like, she's smart.
She don't want to do something she knows she can do.
She knows she can be a nurse or a doctor. She wants to do something she's not sure she can do. I said, "Well, like what?" She goes, "I want to be an entrepreneur."
Oh, entrepreneur.
She knows that if she had a horse and land, she knows she could do that. She's super athletic. She's super smart, as are her brothers. But the thing is I applaud that attitude. I want to do something I'm not sure I can do. Well,
tell her
dummy,
pick up a
you're just
guitar.
like me.
Start singing.
Well, so just in passing yesterday, I texted her. I said, "Hey, I'll call you this evening. We'll talk." I don't really even look for 16-year-old girls. Hard to find, especially once they have a little boyfriend and they're, But the thing is that, so I don't mess with her too much on Monday or Tuesday. No, Monday or Wednesday, because she didn't get home till 8:30. She still has homework, blah, blah, blah. But I said, I'll call you, and I just want to know, like, it was funny the other day. I said something about you could be this, you could be that, you could be a singer. And when I saw a look. I'm a dad. I have a daughter. I have one daughter. I know what's going on. So I said, so I hit her up about it. I was like, you could do that. It doesn't take away from being an entrepreneur. In fact, you're going to need to be an entrepreneur. And there are a lot of, like, look, okay, Gene Watson. Right. I don't know how old he is right now, but let's go back 15 or 20 years. I guarantee you he had his hands on a car. Billy Gibbons. He loves cars more than guitars. I get it. I like recording. I love recording. I'm kind of lazy and hard to motivate, but if there's people, I like projects. I like people stuff, It's not fun for me to go in there and record myself. It's like
boring,
labor intensive. It's like I don't want to like perform when I'm doing studio work, but I kind of wish there was somebody around that
you could show off in front of.
Either that, or just maybe even if you're like, well, hell, if it was somebody like John Carroll, you're like, is that okay? You know, yeah, it's a good one. There's different hierarchy of what you think of people. There's a hierarchy in your opinion of people.
Right.
Or there's an opinion of where you think people are on your personal hierarchy. Am I saying that?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Someone like that, you're like, hell, I don't want you play it. I'm leaving. But, if it's the guy that you taught and he's still not, and he doesn't know some of the things you know. But the thing, and I've thought about this a lot lately. This is my new mantra. Or my new sort of like, almost everyone's musical. I taught a lot of guitar students, and I've only met 2 people that were really tone deaf. And by that, I mean, Jim, this is a high note. Jim, this is a low note. Oh. Now I'm going to sing a note, and you tell me which one it is, and I go, and then you go, oh, that's a low note. Let's do it again. Oh, that's a high note. You're tone deaf. That's, and so, but they're the farthest extreme of that.
And you have no business in this business.
I think, well, and so here, that goes to the point I'm going to make. Almost everyone is musical. And I guarantee you, someone has driven by this building while we've been here that is absolutely as musical as I am. They just don't play an instrument. That's why my playing appeals to them, because they get it. It's not like we're playing a bunch of dumb people. Some are. And then there's the aggregate intellect, too. Some people go, like, country music is simple right now because the people listen. I'm going to say it. They're simple. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being simple. Those are that backbone of America,
I mean, Zach Top, that's simple.
I don't know that guy. Zach Top.
Really?
Wait, is he the one that had longer hair in the back, wears a cowboy hat? He does that song,
I Lie or something.
No, I don't know how. Well, it's. I don't know if that's simple, but I'll tell you right now, the writing, that's of all the work I put into music and playing guitar and being an instrumentalist or an arranger or whatever, the lyrics are still preeminent. Because why? Because words are life.
Right.
And music is a divine language.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many times it saved my life from being when I was like the only white boy? And I said, I'm kidding. No, but I remember one time my friend Mario, rest in peace, Grammy winner. I met him. And he was piano playing, drumming, bass playing, crazy man. Like, what's your Grammy for? Guitar. How old are you? 25. There's no hope for me. And then his buddy Chris Rivera, who's a great drummer, he played. These guys were playing at that time that I met them. They were playing for Ruben Ramos and the Revolution, and I'd been in a band with Ruben,
right,
because Ruben was a member of Los Super 7, and basically Los Super 7 was Rick Treveño, most of his band, and a few other select musicians in the Austin area, and Augie Myers, Flaco Jimenez, both the fellows from Los Lobos. Did I say Freddy Fender?
No.
Freddie Fender.
You need to say Freddy Fender.
And Joe Ely and Rick Treveño, Los Super 7. And it was not a Tejano band, it was a Latin band. So, Ruben might come up and do a couple, like a cumbia, and then Joe would come up and do kind of a, like, alty country,
Tejano.
How he is, and then maybe with that, like, with Alvacado or something with the Mexican flair, Spanish
Michael
flair.
Salgado.
And then Rick would do, like, a wapango, which is, like, the most complicated guitar rhythm ever. Like, you have to do that, and and if you don't do it, Milton Walters such a killer musician. You know Milton? He's such a killer musician that if he didn't, he would hear it. But it made me a better player, because when I got with Treveño, the day I got with him, his world was popping. He had the first number one on that record that had 3 number ones on it. I think the information's right. It could have been the second number one. Running Out of Reasons. Or Learning As You Go. One of those two was
both of them.
Yeah, they were both. They both went to number one, and one of them was the day that I started. So he wasn't. And Rick had the occasion that he needed to clean house, or decided to clean house, and he let go of half his band. And the country band's an 8-piece. It's 8 people on stage.
Right.
It's the singer, who may or may not play an instrument, while he's singing at any given time, and then 7 other guys.
Pieces.
And that 7-piece band was nasty. Real good band. I had so much fun. And I say it, everyone's like, what's Treveño? Because people want to know what the people that I've worked with are like. That boy was clean cut, the most professional man I've ever been around.
Rick.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He loves God. He loves his country. He loves his family. He loves the people he's around. He's a little bit private.
Yeah.
He's like a guy like me. I'm Fred Flintstone. He's Barney. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. But I'd say
laid back.
That's my psyche, my id. I'm like Fred Flintstone. I'm trying to work on this, but no. But he's a mild mannered guy, and he's a sweetheart. But he is absolutely one of the best musicians I've ever known. He's absolutely as professional as you will ever find in his craft. I played with some hot dogs, like Mike McClure. I saw him one time. It was after I was with him. He was on stage. I went to see him at Larry Joe. went to Larry Joe Taylor. Hey, I'm not go hang out with all my buddies, and I go out front. And so, when you go out to a big concert, go stand under the sound booth. That's where it sounds best.
In the middle.
Yeah. So I'm standing there, and I hear him say, I'm like, oh, shit, he's about to pontificate. And I do that, too, so that's how I recognize he goes, I've written 350 songs, probably. And I went, bullshit. Because I know what he's about to say. He goes, wait a minute. I went way more than 350 songs. I have not. I haven't written 300 songs.
You haven't?
I have not written 300 songs. I've written, and here's my thing. I live my philosophy of everything I do, driving home, everything that I think goes through this concept of the Pareto principle, because I personally believe that everything can be viewed through that idea, and that's the 80-20 principle. As long as you're not so close-minded that it has to be 80-20, and you can recognize a pattern, like maybe it's 98-100. But you take the music industry, 20% of the people are going to make money. 20% of the people that make
big money.
No, just money. 20% of those are going to make big money, and 20% of those are laughing at everybody else. And 20% of those are superstars. Well, now you're down to like a few 100,000 people worldwide.
2%.
The
20% has now gone down.
And it may not be 80-20, but Mary J. Blige said, I heard her say this. Oh, I can't remember who she said it to. It was an interview. Tom Schneider, I think. She said, if 15% of all the artists in the record business pay for 100% of everything in the music business, including distribution for indie artists, including our money is what gets the small writers their royalties. And she's right. And so, and actually, she's not. She said 15% of the artists. It's not 15% of the artists. It's 1% of the artists. It's 15% of the overall business. So I was talking about Giuliani. I may have met the guy, but I don't remember it. But you meet a lot of people when you're hanging around Nashville at those big events and those. They have. I can't even remember some of the ones.
I saw Jelly Roll on a podcast not too long ago. Man, was talking about the very thing we're talking about right now.
Where Aaron called him out.
Yeah. Well, they said something about the artist only makes 5% of the money.
Yeah.
95% goes to royalties of the people who signed you. And one person told me,
No, but that's probably but now here's the thing, that's not live. That's record business stuff. Yeah. That's music and distribution, but not live performance.
Oh, live performance.
Unless he has a weird contract. I wouldn't sign that deal. I don't want to be a star that much.
Yeah.
My thing was always going to be, I'm a weird dude. I get ideas, and I get ideas from a place, and I latch onto them. When I was a young man, I read somewhere that Rodney, which is probably not a name in Greek, it means famous rock.
Rodney does.
And so in my mind, I was like, that's what I'll be. I'll be the rock for famous people. And that's what I've done. That's about all I've done. But it's funny because you were one of 3 other people the other day that told me, "Well, you're absolutely famous," and I'm like, I don't see that. But and then later that night, a very beautiful young lady told me I was handsome, dude. and then that was a highlight for me, bro. I was
hey,
I was sitting there. I'm like,
put a fork. I'm done, man.
That's a highlight for me, man. I don't need anything else this week. And they're like, what was the low point? I was like, well, 3 clients canceled at the last minute. So you have highs and lows, But so I don't know. I feel like the music business is such that you talk about making a living. That's a very, and especially in this day and age with virtual life that we have, the internet and whatnot. Like, I saw it immediately. I put my first full-length record out. I had done a lot of records and singles and been on people's records, but I put my first full-length record out when I was 38 years old. Dude, that's hardly ever done. I mean, John Barry was like 41, but he had a record deal. I'm indie. But I'm seeing the writing on the wall because before there were any ways to distribute media on your own, you had websites like LoneStarMusic.com, and you would distribute that way. People would buy through them, and you share whatever the numbers are. You make a contract. I saw it because there was a woman, and I can't remember her name, but she was in, I think she was Welsh, somewhere in Great Britain, and she sold 400,000 copies off her personal website, bro.
That's where it started happening,
bro. Well, think about this. What did the guy with Jelly Roll say? You play that, and you end up with 10 cents on a dollar.
Yeah,
just like he's getting it all, plus charging a little bit extra for shipping.
Well, look at
Cody
Jinx.
multi-millionaire in like a year.
Jinx did the same thing.
What'd he do?
He kept all his. He was
he's indie. I like that guy, by the way. I liked him as a person long before I even listened to his music because I kept running into him everywhere he would play that I was playing. He's just a gentleman.
Him and Jason Eady kind of started at the same time.
Jason Eady he's a true example. I like Jason Eady's another stellar individual, man.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He is a badass. And this is another sweetheart. See, here's I think a lot of it. I think you find the guys that when I had a talk with my business partner down there, David Butler down there in Temple. He's an older guy. He's like in the late 80s, so he's always teaching me something. He says, I watched this show last night. This is about animals. He goes, when a mammal accepts that child, that first offspring, they become an apex killer. I said, not predator? He goes, no, sir. There's too many predators. They can become a killer. And that's the same thing with women.
Huh.
What happens to a man when he has that first one, especially a girl? What a pussy. He's turning into the biggest, softest
jerk.
Yeah, I'll take a hit to the face for my daughter, But, that's, I think, do you have a daughter?
I do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, do you have more than one daughter?
No.
See, my first wife and I, we had 3 boys, and then we lost a girl.
Oh.
So, it's kind of special. First of all, my sister was the first girl with a Pyeatt name, or in our branch, I think it was 58 years. So my dad's first cousin was 58 when my sister was born. Oh, God. No, she wasn't spoiled. My mother would never have that. But my dad spoiled her. My dad spoiled everybody.
Especially her.
My mother, woo, tough.
Yeah, my mom was rough, too.
My mom was.
Well, they had to be.
Yeah.
They were the backbones of the
Otherwise,
family.
Dad would come home and kill you.
No, Mom took care of it so Dad wouldn't have to hear about it. Because if he heard about it, then you're really
That's
in
it.
trouble.
And by that time, if she has to say something,
wait till he gets home.
Even remember the ones where she took care of it and said something?
Yeah.
That's where you deserve this.
Yeah, you got the belt and the switch.
Man, I got a lot of belts. I got vacuum cleaner cords, Hot Wheel tracks.
My brother got at the water hose one time.
Ooh, that doesn't seem. Oh, you mean they cut off? Oh,
I'm like,
woo, Call the police. No, in that day, what they did back then, they would probably put them in jail today.
Oh,
which I think
prison.
is stupid because I think that's what's wrong. Dude, I'm meeting so many soft people.
Oh, I know. And
I mean, they're just soft. Everything.
well, when you give a child who's not even 12 years old legal rights to put their
Emasculate
parents
themselves.
in jail for spanking them, I mean, come on, man.
Well, I say, I told my kids, I said, you might. I think one of mine pulled that on me. I was like, well, I'm going to have to make it worth my while.
My grandmother made me. We used to have a pear tree out in the yard. She said, "You walk out there,
sir.
get me that
You
pear
sure we
tree.
didn't have the same grandma?
Cut the switch, and it better have
Ours
leaves.
is a peach tree.
Mine better." And she said,
It better be big enough.
It better be flimsy, and there better be some leaves on the end of that.
Better be what?
Leaves.
Oh,
on
really?
the end of it.
Why?
Oh, because it'll wrap around and put some sting on you, dude.
Well, I don't know how she did ours. She just said it needs
That
to
was
be.
the longest walk to the pear tree I've ever had in my
Oh, the
life.
one back's pretty long.
Well,
Not long enough. Not long enough, man.
I mean, you walk like this. One.
You know what? I
One.
think your clock's wrong.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
Is that why you were like, you already here? I
I don't even look at the clock.
But no, the thing is my mom was
He
like
still
that. But she
hasn't
grew up
played a
with.
song yet. Do you see him put his guitar back down and started talking?
What should I sing about?
I don't-
Well, I'll sing about.
I just want to hear you play.
We're talking
whatever-
about parents and stuff. I'll do that.
Yeah, man, just play
Talk
a song.
Talk about my opera.
Play. I just want. I
wanna-
love watching you play, man. It took him 20 minutes to get this song.
I had a lot to smoke screen people. Had a lot. What do they call that? Yeah, I had a lot of gaslighting. to do.
Gaslighting. There you go.
I'm gonna send this out to my buddy. What's his name? Dana Spiker. I was raised where the Gulf water meets the Brazos. They said me the arms of God in Spanish. And it gets so hot in the summertime. You can see the steam coming from a honeysuckle vine, and you pray for rain. And it always came just in time. Like waterfalls and moss flows from the tree. Hypnotizes as it sways in the breeze. Spend my days on Surfside. I get caught up in that riptide on Blue Water Highway, where I play my nights away. But even if I roll that muddy water south, got out on the banks of the Mouth, at the city of enchantment by the sea. There's nothing there for me but memories, 'cause home ain't where it used to be. I was raised where the Gulf water meets the Brazos. Gulf water thick as molasses, and the air so thick in the springtime. Magnolia still on my mind, and the rain, and how it always came just in time. But even if I roll that muddy water south, got out on the banks of the Mouth, the city of enchantment by the sea. There's nothing there for me but memories, 'cause home ain't where it used to be. But even if I roll that muddy water south, got out on the banks of the Mouth, at the city of enchantment by the sea. There's nothing there for me but memories, 'cause home ain't where it used to be. At the city of enchantment by the sea. There's nothing there for me but memories, 'cause home ain't where it used to be. I was raised with a gun for the beast of brazos.
Rodney, that's a badass song. Man, I've noticed, did you build that guitar?
No. This is this guitar, it's funny about this guitar. This is a Chinese guitar. Breedlove. Well, let me rephrase that. Breedlove is, I believe they're Canadian, but this one is Chinese guitar. And here's the thing. They made these rosewood guitars, and it's a solid top, right? It's one piece. Well, here's the thing. People, when they're doing that, you know, retail guitars and secondhand guitars all my life, you know, sold and bought, traded guitars. So they talk about, you know, there's laminated wood and then there's a laminate. Right? So a laminate is stacks of wood. Laminate is when they cut it and mismatch it and put it back together. It's stronger. So when you look at 95% of the high-end guitars, you can see a laminate right down the middle. That makes it stronger. You know, Martin, Fender, Gibson, all of them. This company doesn't. But the Chinese company doesn't. The Chinese version of this doesn't. It's one piece. But what I like about it is it bottoms out. Okay, so here's what I mean. When you hit a note, but when I fret it, I can hear the fret, and that's because when I play acoustic, I'm not gonna bend strings. It's a Spanish guitar, Spanish tuning. I play Spanish riffs. So if you go, blame it all on your roots. You know, if you go, blame it all on your roots. I showed up in boots, you're black. That's what I'm gonna do. If you don't want me to do it, call me. Because I've played a lot and I don't have to play anymore. But the thing is I did that one night. This friend of mine, she said, it's my birthday. I want you to play. I have to have you play. I said, oh, great. And then she calls me back. She goes, hey, do you mind playing with Eric Willis? I was like, man, I love Eric Willis. Do you know Eric Willis? I love Eric, man. He's a super guy. I was like, but at the end of it,
he's
was
a
like,
Texas
dude.
Sean McConnell.
Huh?
He's a Texas Sean McConnell.
Oh, he's great, man. Eric Willis. He's great. Sean McConnell's great, dude. All these names. And he's a cool guy. And afterwards, he goes, dude, I never thought about any of my songs having that Spanish guitar. I said, well, man, that's really, you know, the finger. And then also, like, it's weird to bend strings and try to sound like. That's what I always hated about we are going to play acoustic. What do you mean we? We are going to play full band shit. You know what that means? That means the fiddle plays his fiddle, the drummer plays his drums, maybe just a snare and kick, or maybe just a snare, still easy. And then the bass player plays some version of a bass. Maybe it's an acoustic one, but it still has fret. I'm the only one that has to change anything. And that's the only thing I've ever hated about playing acoustic. And the only reason why is because if I'm with other people, always you need to hear you more than the other guy.
Right.
And in acoustic settings, they do that because you already know what's implied. A smaller setup, so you're probably not going to be able to hear yourself. So the other day I played with my friend Michael Carabelli. It's kind of a mistake to do it, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'll figure out how to ring it out better. I had to get there earlier, but played with my buddy Michael Carabelli down there at Terlingua, Maine in Salado. It's a cool place. It's cold, but he has following, you know, so boom, all these people come out. And I'm playing along, but it was almost too cold to play. But I forgot what story I was going to tell you. I got excited
about playing with Michael Carabelli about acoustic.
Yeah. So I could hear. I brought this. I brought a PA main. You know, a 15-inch speaker and a horn, and a PA head for my setup. And I'm like, I turn on. He's like, automatically just made him a nervous wreck. I was like, I promise it'll be fine for the show, and it was. So what I did was, rather than I let him go his mains and guitar out of the mains, his mains and vocals out of the mains, and I just played off the stage, and this crowd was like, dude, this sounds. Because I walked out a really long cable. I was like, we're not playing for the back of it anyway.
Right.
If there's people back there, they want to talk. That's what. I've never been so mad in my life, and I should see it coming. But art is special, and it pisses me off when people denigrate it. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. Not me, any art. Any art pisses me off, right? So, and I'm guilty of that. I had to apologize for a friend of mine down there in New Braunfels because I
you started talking during.
I pissed all over his post. He was talking about how rap got him through, And I didn't see that part. I was like, yeah, rap. Yeah, the pitch crosses art. You know, so, yeah, art. But, you know, and I was like, you know, snuff films are art. And he's like, dude, you're an asshole. And I start thinking about, you know what I am? And I had to apologize. I was out of line. Troy, I love you, man. I was out of line. I was wrong. But my point is, it makes me mad. I'm sitting there. I play with the Amanda Brown. And we do the first Sunday of every month at Bird Creek Brewery. And it's a solo, me on acoustic and her on vocals. And I'll sing some. I'll do a few of mine in an interim. But, you know, this woman, she has a degree in music performance. And she's a badass. She's my ex-wife's daughter. So I just tell everybody she's my stepdaughter because it's too lengthy. But for now, I'll explain it. And we're playing. This guy comes up and he goes, "Excuse me." He goes, "But we're a little hard of hearing. We're wondering if you could turn it down." I said, "Let me see if I understand your logic, because I'm still too naive to be pissed off yet." I go, "You're hard of hearing, but it's too loud." He goes, "Oh yeah, we were wanting to talk." I said, "Go inside."
Yeah, we're playing.
No, I went
music
over there
here.
and turned my shit up because I couldn't hear it loud enough.
We're playing music, and that's
This
what,
room holds 300 people. You're in the back. But that's not what really makes me mad. What really makes me mad, because I've had, you know, that 80-20 thing. I'd say 60% of my career has been dance hall culture, right? Up until lately. Because now I'm going more, I want smaller and more intimate. But, you know, because dance halls is just like concert. You want to get the numbers. You want to get the most. What makes me mad is when the people who are regulars, and they pretty much own that place because the owner's going to listen to them. They sit right by the speakers and then bitch about your volume. That is a level of intelligence. Let me say this. I think that's a level of intellect I cannot stoop down to.
The elderly wants to be on the front row because they don't want to miss anything, but it's too loud for them. Bottom line.
So let me tell you the coolest thing I've seen. I didn't get to go, but I would love to go to a concert like this. It's a band. I think they're out of Mississippi. I think they're out of Mississippi State, but they're called Snarky Puppies. And there's like, I don't know, there might be 12 of them. They have like a drummer and 2 keyboard players, a whole horn section, 3 guitar players. 3 electric guitar players. The bass player is the leader, and he stands in the middle of a room. And these guys are all over this room, right? They're everywhere in the room. So, like, you'll have a stage with horns, and you'll have seating around that stage. And you think, well, how can I hear the damn drums over there, you know, like literally 45 feet away or 80 feet away in a big room? In ears. They have their personal mix, the band does, and the crowd has.
You don't have in-ears?
Well, I do, but what I'm saying is the crowd had in-ears.
Oh, the
so
crowd?
that you can sit by the drummer and hear the whole mix.
Oh, wow.
Just think about how cool that is if
That
you're not a
would be
musician, or especially if you are. Yeah. You're 18 years old, you just got to college, and you go see Snarky, the drummer's killer, and
the crowd has in-ears.
The crowd has in-ears, bro. That's where it's all going. And here's the other thing I think. AI is going to significantly change. And I surmise that in the next 15 years, we're going to start seeing major lawsuits of record labels if they're not careful, because there's every bit of a chance that they're going to take your voice, record it, copy it, take you off the record, put AI on there, and take the copyright. Why wouldn't they?
AI
They've
can't
been doing
perform
shit like that all along.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
AI.
And then the other thing I think with AI is because it's going to try to copy what humans do, and it doesn't. It doesn't program us. We program it. Not I said the hair lip, but you know, we as humans, we program AI. So I feel like we could trick it. So no telling us what's going to happen. Just let's just take the middle 8 in a song. You have a song, and you have a verse, and you have a chorus. Most popular songs have a verse and a chorus. Another verse, another chorus. Now you have the middle 8. It's 8 bars of something that's not like any other part of the song. And that's where we get them. That's where we get AI. But regardless of any of that, AI doesn't do live performance like humans, and that's going to be where it's at. I think it's going to break down like it was in my grandparents' generation. They were professional musicians in the sense that they played for money because they had to.
Right.
And they would go play in people's houses, take a couple people, go play, and everybody, back then things were regional. We didn't have the media. Well, Facebook is kind of doing what it was meant to do, and that is to get you in touch with a few people that you're doing something the same as. So this idea that it's to reach the broader world, I don't buy it.
So you're not on Facebook?
No, I am. I just don't buy that I'm reaching anybody.
Tell them how to get hold of you on Facebook.
Okay, well, I'm the Guitar Troubadour. That's my handle, but it's Rodney Pyeatt.
Troubadour.
Guitar Troubadour. Not just any troubadour. I tell you that story, didn't I?
Well, Rodney, we're gonna have to.
I'll play it for you. You want to hear it? It's hard to play, but I'll play it.
Yeah,
You have time?
we got. Well,
How much time you have?
We're almost out of time, but
Okay. Let me just tell you the story. I won't play it. Here's why. Because that's the first release I'm going to do here this month, and I want it to be a surprise. But the idea is, I stay with my old dad, and
play it.
I dreamt this song. He
rather
was going
you
down.
play
He was going down the hall in his walker,
This will be a good way to wrap it up. Play.
and I
play
thought
it.
he said, "Are you ever going to get?" It's like 8 in the morning. I played till got in at 4, and I dreamt it. He said, "Are you ever going to get up, Guitar Troubadour?" And I got up. I said, "What'd you say?" He said, "Nothing." I go, "You didn't say anything." He didn't say anything. I'm just walking down the hall. I got to go get coffee. So I went and got my coffee and got a pen and paper. And it's one of the few songs that ever sort of I was ever able to write in a short amount of time. You know, a day, a couple hours, a few hours. I'm the Guitar Troubadour. That's what these hands were made for, 'cause I'm 6-string ringing, nickel banging, guitar slinging, fool, get up off your stool. Get out on the floor, 'cause I'm the Guitar Troubadour. Well, I'm the Guitar Troubadour. How could you ask for more? I'm a country boy twanging, blues man singing, a honky tonk railing man, that's what I am. I've got a rocking band, 'cause I'm the Guitar Troubadour. We're gonna party till the sun comes up, we're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party till the break of day, gonna party till the cows come home. And when you see that juke joint jump, you're gonna hear your favorite song. Y'all sing along, y'all sing along, 'cause I'm the Guitar Troubadour. I'm the Guitar Troubadour.
Y'all give it up for my friend Rodney Pyeatt. Rodney, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, brother.
It's a blast, man. Check him out on all the social. Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, no, I'm about to be. I'm doing all that this week. I know.
You're my age, and we're kind of like, okay, we're gonna be forced to get into.
I just
this
resent
TikTok.
the 21st century,
I know,
bro.
I know. Whatever.
I have to prove that I'm holding my phone that has a password on it to get into my own email or my own That's retarded.
I get locked out on my own
That's
stuff.
stupid. I don't want to play that game, dude. I want to push a button and it also.
Rodney, I'm gonna have you back, and we're gonna have
Thank
to have
you, man.
a
I'd
part
love that.
2 of this conversation because, man, we didn't even touch half of what we wanted to talk about.
I know it's fun though.
Rodney Pyeatt, thank you so
Thank you,
much,
brother.
man. And that wraps up this edition of Behind the Wheel with Alvacado. We'll see you next time down the road.
Thanks for joining us for Behind the Wheel with Alvacado with your host, Jim Alvarado. Behind the Wheel was produced by Josh Beard, Mason Gonzalez, and Mike Hamilton for Rogue Media Network. Guests' opinions are those of their own and do not reflect the views of Rogue Media Network or Jim Alvarado. If you have a suggestion for guests, please reach out to hello@roguemedianetwork.com. Join us again next time and be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you down the road.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.